All right, let's jump right into one of the biggest headaches for English learners, present simple versus present continuous. I promise you, getting this right is a total game changer for how natural you sound.
So let me ask you something. Which one of these is right? I live in London or I'm living in London? Go ahead, think about it. It's one of those tricky ones, isn't it?
So, what's the answer? Well, the secret is they're both correct. But, and this is a big but, they mean completely different things. It all boils down to one simple idea. Is it permanent or is it temporary? Let's figure this out.
The crazy thing is, both of these tenses are about the present. They both talk about what's happening now. But here's the key. They describe two totally different kinds of now. And once you get that, everything clicks into place.
So how in the world do you keep these two different nows straight in your head? Well, don't worry, I'm about to give you a super simple mental picture that's going to help you remember the difference for good. And here it is. Just think, calendar versus stopwatch. The calendar is for the present simple. It's for your habits, for facts, for schedules, the stuff that's regular or permanent. The stopwatch, on the other hand, is for the present continuous. It's for things happening this very second, things that are just temporary. Calendar versus stopwatch. Simple, right? Okay, so let's put our little calendar and stopwatch idea to work. We're going to look at the rules for each one side by side so you can really see how this plays out in real sentences. Take a look at this. It lays it all out perfectly. On the calendar side, that's our present simple, we've got habits, like I walk to work. We've got facts. Water boils at 100 degrees. Permanent stuff. She lives in Spain. Now glance over to the stopwatch side, the present continuous. What's happening right now? I'm eating now. What's temporary? She's living in Paris this term. You see the difference? One feels fixed and true. The other feels like it's happening just for a little while. So now that you know when to use them, let's do a quick look at how you actually build them. And the good news is the formulas are actually really simple once you see the pattern. For stopwatch tense, the present continuous, it's a piece of cake. You just take your subject, add the right form of to be, am, is, or are, and then you tack ing onto the end of the main verb. So, I am working. She is reading. They are playing. Super easy. Now, for our calendar tense, the present simple, it's even easier for the most part. For I, you, we, and they, you just use the verb as is. I play. The one, and I mean the one thing you absolutely have to remember, is for he, she, or it, you gotta add that s or es on the end. He plays. Honestly, that little s is probably the most forgotten rule in English, so don't let it be you. And hey, you wanna know a little cheat code? Keep an ear out for signal words. If you hear words like always, usually, or every day, that's a giant flashing sign telling you to use the calendar tense, present simple. And if you hear now, right now, or at the moment, that's your cue to hit the stopwatch and use the present continuous. Okay, you've got the basics down cold. You're doing great. But now it's time to level up. We're going to talk about the 4 most common traps that even really advanced speakers fall into sometimes. If you can get these right, you're going to be unstoppable. So here are the big 4. First, these weird things called state of verbs. Then that classic temporary versus permanent mix-up. Third, knowing the difference between a public schedule and your own personal plan. And finally, my favorite, a cool way to use always to complain about something. So let's talk about that first one, state of verbs. Basically, these are verbs that describe a state of being, not an action. Think about words like know, believe, like, or want. You don't really do these things, you just feel them or are them. And because they're not actions, we almost never put them in the continuous stopwatch form. You'd say, I know the answer. You'd never say, I'm knowing the answer. That's a huge one to remember. All right, enough talking. The best way to really get this stuff is to actually do it. So it's time for a little quiz to check your skills. Let's see if you can tell when to use the calendar and when to use the stopwatch. You ready? Okay, question number 1. Listen, the birds blank sing. So what do you think? Is this a permanent factual calendar thing, or is this a right this second stopwatch thing? And the answer is are singing. Yes, you got it. That little word, listen, is your clue. It tells you it's happening right now. That is 100% stopwatch time. Perfect. Let's try another one. She blank go to the gym every Monday. What's your gut feeling on this one? Calendar or stopwatch? Boom. It's goes. The key here is every Monday.
That tells you it's a habit, a routine, something you could literally put on a calendar. It's calendar time, and you remembered that third-person S. Nicely done.
So, look, if you walk away with just one thing from all this, please let it be this idea right here. Just always ask yourself, is what I'm saying a calendar thing, like a habit or a fact, or is it a stopwatch thing, something happening right now and just for a little while?
And that brings me to my final question for you. What are you learning right now? Think about your answer. See, you're already using it. You've totally got this. Thanks for hanging out with me.